I got no, like, other Metroid intro other than this. So, like, I kind of have to, like, kind of just do what I just did. You know, pretend my arm is an arm gun. But anyways, so let's talk about Metroid Prime Hunters and why it exists as a video game. So last night, pretty late last night, I was looking for video games to play. And I was like, okay, I don't have a good track record playing Zelda, right? Zelda games in my repertoire suck balls. All right, I'm not really good at when it comes to playing Zelda games and whatnot, so on and so forth. So I decided, hey, let's put Zelda on hold for now, and let's go back to a series I know I can enjoy, Metroid. Right? Because you guys know me, I love me some Metroid. I mean, Zero Mission was so good, Fusions was great, Prime 1 was goated. You know what I mean? Metroid AM2R, that game was awesome, right? So I was like, dang, I played almost the entire series of Metroid, other than Metroid Prime Pinball, other than Metroid Prime 2 and 3, other than those. Oh, and obviously Prime 4 that's coming out later. Other than those, I haven't played those, right? So I decided, hey, why not play Metroid Prime Hunters? Since I don't have Prime 2 and I don't have Prime 3, I did have Prime 3 at a point, but then I told Louis to give it back without really playing it. Kind of regretted that because I was like, dang, I heard Metroid Prime 3 is actually easier for new players to get into in comparison to Metroid Prime 1, and I beat Prime 1, so Prime 3 would have been enjoyable. But anyways, back to my point, I decided to play Metroid Prime Hunters, okay, for over an hour. I said, you know what? I'm down to play a new Metroid experience. It's been a long time since I played Metroid AM2R or even just Prime 1 remastered for Switch. It's been a long time. Why not whip up another Metroid? So I whip up. Those fingers must have been suffering from fatigue. Oh, it's worse than that, man. I'll get into it, right? So I started playing Metroid Prime Hunters. I was looking at review videos. I was looking at all sorts of stuff to see why this game is bad, right? Or to see if this game is bad, see if this game's good. Because I'm starting to understand why people watch reviews before they actually play the bitch in question. Okay? Even though I like going in there for myself and figuring all that stuff out for myself. You know, before I actually watch reviews on things that I want to play or I'm interested in. Welcome, Lord Jack, on the stream. But anyways, let's talk about this for a quick second, right? So I looked into it. And, you know, some call me Johnny, a very big, not a big YouTuber, but one of the bigger reviewers on YouTube. You know, he was saying he didn't really give a fuck about Metroid Prime Hunters all that much, and I wanted to know why. So I decided to boot up the game. I got a DS emulator, obviously, because I don't own a DS, Nintendo. Maybe if you allowed me to play Metroid Prime Hunters on your new hardware, I wouldn't have to emulate to figure that stuff out. And I'm definitely not spending hundreds if not thousands of dollars on scalpers on different websites to get that game. Screw that. That's why I emulated this experience, right? And this is why I feel like Metroid Prime Hunters is a bad Metroid game, right? So when you get into the game, you're thinking, let's see, let me pull out a controller. I almost pulled out Louis' controller. A spare controller, right? Spare. Oh, yeah, I got a spare controller, right? I'll use a PlayStation controller, for example, right? So when you're playing this game, right? You're thinking, okay, Metroid Prime Hunters, this DS game, is going to be controlled like a normal Metroid Prime video game, like Prime 1, Prime 2, or maybe like Prime 3 for the Wii. Yeah, no. This game controls in a weird way, right? So for example, you move around with the D-pad. Obviously, that's normal, okay? Even though you would move around with the analog stick in Metroid Prime 1 and 2. But anyways, you would move around with the D-pad, and think about this, right? You know the DS has dual screens, right? You move around with D-pad, you shoot with R, the R trigger, and then you move around your gun since this is in first person perspective, so you're constantly aimed like this, right? Imagine this: you move your gun arm with the touch screen. Yeah, you move around using a fucking touch screen. What is this? Why do I have to move a screen just to fucking move Samus around? I have to move it like this to fucking use Samus's other abilities. Keep in mind, right? To shoot, again, it's press R, but if I want to move around while shooting, I have to hold the opposite side of the screen if you're playing in this way, not like vertically. If you're playing vertically, then you have to like touch the touchscreen downward to move Samus all around. And plus, you don't move Samus like this, right? You move Samus like left, like up, down, left, right, but you move Samus's freaking body and twist and turn it with the touch screen. And your buttons are used to jump and only jump. And yes, there's other control options like use the left dual stick or the right dual stick. For example, the other gameplay style is you move with the face buttons. Square is to move like right, left, up, and down. And then you have R to shoot. And then you still move the pad to move around, but you just don't use the D-pad, even though that's fucking disorienting for gameplay. When I saw all these control options, I decided to give it a chance, right? Because I'm a guy who gives something a chance. I like giving a chance to a lot of other video games. Doesn't matter what. I mean, look at me. I gave Luigi's Mansion 2, that piece of shit fuckhole game, a chance, okay? But anyways, I digress. So I gave it a chance. I was moving around with Samus, even though it was kind of disorienting for my fingers, especially because it isn't original hardware and it's on an emulator. So think about that. All the buttons are pretty much touchscreen for my bitch ass to even enjoy the game. You can't even play this with an emulated controller. You need the touchscreen to move around. Otherwise, if you're going to play this with Bluetooth controller, emulator, and you sit there, look at this. This is practically what you're going to have to do. Like, you literally can't even jump. You would have to tap the screen to jump. And then move around and shoot like this. Look how you're going to be playing. If you're using like a tablet or a phone as your screen, this is what you'd have to play like. That is not happening. That is not how you play Metroid Prime. This is how you play Metroid Prime. You got your shoot button, or whatever, whichever button is, or you got your shoot button right here. You move around like this. You check your visors by pressing one of these fucking buttons. You actually move around 360 with this. You control your camera with the left stick. You do all the natural shit you'd want to do in Metroid Prime. But Metroid Prime hunters and Nintendo just decided to go like, yeah, why don't we have Samus, instead of using the fucking L button to move around with the camera and have it move like that, or just move the camera with the L button, or use the L button plus the D-pad when you move around to move around, or whatever, right? Let's just have the whole touchscreen be Samus's whole moving thing. Like, that isn't going to disorient any player from playing the game. I mean, also, I heard this story, and Metroid Prime Hunters is nowhere near as interesting as, like, Prime 1 or Prime 2. And also, the gameplay, for the most part, it's so hard, since, like I said, the controls are very difficult to get into. It's so fucking hard to get into and seriously play the game, because I'm trying to control Samus to shoot shit, you know, shoot stuff with my arm cannon, and I can't even do that because, like I said, touching the touchscreen and then pressing R at the same time to kind of move around the camera when there's fast enemies that move faster than how my finger can make the screen go this way, like go this way when you had to slide the shit on the fucking touchscreen to even do that stuff. It's annoying. I mean, how could, like, this is the thing, how could anybody, like, how did Nintendo think this was okay to put this in their DS game? And I get it, whenever you release the DS, you want to have some features for the DS for your said video game. I get it, Nintendo, and your weird-ass request, but some games just aren't meant to be fucking put on a DS like this. You have so many games where it has better touchscreen control. Like, for example, right? Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story. That game has great use of the touchscreen, right? The giant Bowser battles. Or, for example, like Mario and Luigi need to do something, and you need to tap the screen to do something. Those uses are fine. But if I have to move Samus, like, by turning different directions, like while trying to shoot something, I have to use the touchscreen for that, and then the R button for the shoot. That is not going to work. I mean, I would much rather deal with Luigi's Mansion 2, these repetitive... Actually, nah, man. I would rather deal with none of those. But my point is I would rather have a normal control scheme than whatever Metroid Prime Hunters tried to do. And this is exactly why my fingers hurt. You can't play that game for a long time. And another thing, right? 22. My point is I'm 22. My point is, right, is... Oh my god. Another reason why this game is bad in terms of controls is also like the enemy design and how fast they are and how it blitzes me. But like, since your finger is so required for the game, it's like every single input you press on this game hurts your fucking fingers in some way. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I don't like that shit whenever I get down to it. Whenever I do that shit in Metroid Prime, okay? I'm trying to have fun with this Metroid game. I can't even do that because the control scheme is so shit, and the other options of those set controls are also so shit. They don't give you a decent option to change controls to get rid of the whole touchscreen and have a normal player controls. And I don't know how anybody could defend this game or say this game is good, to be honest. Well, maybe if you stick your head out your ass and get used to the controls, maybe you can find it and actually enjoy it. Fuck that, man. Why do I have to fucking deal with bullshit controls just to enjoy the game? The game should be enjoyable on its own with modernly good controls. If your controls for your game is hot garbage, who the fuck is gonna want to sit there and play the damn game? Certainly not me. Don't get me wrong. I love Samus. I love her to death. Okay? Samus is one of my favorite characters in Nintendo in recent years after playing so much Metroid. But even I can't stand this shit, you know, with these controls. And you guys know me when it comes to controlling your character in a video game. It's very crucial to control your character with such accuracy and great and good feeling controls, you know? It just makes me miss, I don't know, like Luigi's Mansion 3 or anything on the PS3 that controls on a normal controller. I would rather do that than what the fuck I went through on Metroid Prime Hunters. And I get it. It's also possibly because I didn't play this on original hardware. That's why it might be annoying. But you can't lie to me and say the touchscreen, even on normal hardware, won't piss you off as much as me. Sure, you may have less problems with the shoot button, the jump button, and then the touchscreen, you can use your thumb. But that is so disorienting, man. And I don't want to sit there and tap the screen twice to jump. It feels so awkward, especially in platforming bits, in terms of when you do certain platforms, when you jump on platforms in Metroid Prime Hunters, it just sucks. It just feels sluggish to control it. It feels kind of tanky at times whenever you turn around. You try to jump on these platforms like over and over again. It's just not good. It's just not good. And I know there's some good things that came out of Metroid Prime Hunters, but I don't know why the devs thought it would be a good idea to put Metroid Prime on a DS. I mean, it's very cool that their efforts, they were actually able to manage to put Samus and Metroid Prime on a DS. That's really cool. But, like, I'm sorry, but due to the controls, the gameplay just being weird, not really necessarily gaining any upgrades in the first hour is kind of weird. Or at least getting other than, like, missiles and ammo tanks. Like, I miss the idea of playing Metroid, but I think I would rather play traditional Metroid or Metroid Prime on my goddamn Nintendo Wii, not the Nintendo DS. Anyways, that's my experience, my finger aching experience. My fingers were aching during all of this too, like pressing the R and L button, having my screen constantly try to keep up with the enemies. My fingers were aching. They are aching in pain because of that. I'm still feeling some of the aching pain feeling because of what I went through last night. And thank God I chose not to play all of it. Oh, and another thing that's shitty about Metroid Prime Hunters, and also I want Louis to hear this. He's gonna love this, right? He's gonna love this, right? What the fuck? What is that? What is it? What is it? The internet guys. Huh? I guess it's the internet guys. I guess so, but no, but get this. This is one of the worst things about this game, and I want Louis to hear this real quick. Louis is gonna get bothered by this extremely, immensely, depending on how he's gonna feel about it. But there is no saving your game. There is no. No, keep this in mind. There is no save stations in Metroid Prime Hunters. The save stations in Metroid games are so iconic to Samus as a character and her gameplay design that this game decides to strip save stations. What if I have okay? And you know what bothers me? The only place you can save is your gunship. That's the only place you can save your game. The only time you can save your game in its entirety in that game. Outside of that, good luck. You're going to have to do that entire area all over again because guess what? You can't save your fucking game unless you go backtrack all the way back to your gunship and save the game unless you want to stop. Or complete that entire area and then go back to your gunship and save. I could not believe how the only save place is your gunship. And yes, in other Metroid games, your gunship can be used as a save space or to replenish like your ammo and your HP. But that is ridiculous. That is the type of shit that makes me want to flip my shit. And that's another reason why I just decided I'm not playing this anymore. You know, the touchscreen controls that make my fingers ache. The fucking the shitty gameplay, the shitty feeling of Samus and how she controls like is so bad. Enemies being faster than how I can scroll my fucking finger across the goddamn touchscreen just to shoot an enemy. I mean, the idea of Samus being on a DS is cool, but I really felt like it should have just been another 2D Metroid game on the DS instead of with some touch control, instead of just a 3D Metroid Prime game that is trying to be like the console ones, but fails on every single level that is important to playing a game. Anyways, I'm fucking done. I'll see you guys next time. Leave a like, also comment, subscribe. Yeah, some call me Johnny was right not to give a fuck about this game, dude. And if you want to play Metroid Prime Hunters for yourself and have a completely different experience, good for you. But my experience with this, if you can get around those controls and see the story all the way through and whatnot, good for you. And I don't know if it's just because it's mobile emulation. Maybe PC emulation on this game is not that bad, but I would not recommend you play this one. I would definitely recommend you skip this one in terms of Metroid game. I definitely would recommend you skip it. There are so many better options. It's not even funny. Like, you can play Prime 1 and be more invested. Prime 2, Prime 3, fucking Fusions, Zero Mission, AM2R, a fucking fan project of Metroid 2 is better. I would rather play the original Metroid 2 than play Metroid Prime Hunters. This one sucked so fucking bad. Anyways, again, I'm out. Goodbye. See you next time. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay? I don't know if this will be the last stream for the day. And if it is, that's okay. But, you know, I might upload some shorts. It's pretty interesting right now, but at the same time, again, I'm sorry. God, this game is just so damn bad. Who knows? Maybe this will give me an excuse to play Super Princess Peach. Maybe she has better gameplay and stuff. I think. Yeah, I don't even know. Just end the fucking vid. Just